Good morning, beloveds. So I'm having an interesting experience. I just when we got up, we went to the gym, and I typically get up now and I don't put my glasses on until I'm ready to leave the house. And so I put them on, and then I got to the gym and I realized I just really didn't want to wear them at the gym. It's in a garage, but you know what I mean. So I took them off, didn't wear them in the garage, put them back on to drive home. And then I needed to wash my hair, and so I took them off, and then I realized I didn't want to put them back on, and so I didn't put them back on, and I walked into the kitchen to do something before I came to do this, and I set my glasses down because I might need them to do this, and then I walked out of the kitchen without them, and it was nice to realize I didn't know where my glasses were, and I wasn't panicked about that. Oh my goodness. It's been this whole thing about learning, how being legally blind without my glasses on affected my life and my anxiety. And now that, I have that one eye that I'm not legally blind in, so I can see out of one eye, it's been a whole, thing. Like, when I don't know where my glasses are, I don't worry. When I drop my glasses, I don't panic because I can see to find them. You never know what somebody's going through, because I wore glasses and with my glasses I could see, but without my glasses I was legally blind. You never know what people are going through. You just don't. So always be kind. I guess that's what my message is there. Okay, so it is September 4th. Our title is Time Out for Spiritual Renewal, and it's ironic that it's a Sunday today. Our first quote is, "Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." And that is 2 Corinthians 3:17. Then the second quote is, as the conscious thought pours truth into the subjective channels of creative energy, the body is automatically renewed." And that is The Science of Mind, page 486. In the book of Romans, St. Paul invites us to be transformed through the renewing of our minds. The Bible and other spiritual writings have urged people throughout the ages to direct their attention to the beauty and perfection of God within them. The Science of Mind teaching also urges us to turn inward and know the truth of our being. We need to keep our focus on our divine nature, avoiding any tendency to allow worry, fear, or other forms of negativity to dominate our thinking, for our outer experience will tend to reflect what we dwell upon in our thought. We need to contemplate the truth of who we are, individual expressions of God, through meditation, quiet time, or other peaceful practices. Communing with the Spirit need not always involve lengthy prayer or meditation. Simple, peaceful talks with God will remind us that the power greater than we are is always at hand. We will find ourselves more responsive and alert and much less drained as we tune into our own untiring spirit. God creates all that is, and I daily use divine wisdom in all that I think, say, and do. God in me always knows what to do and when to do it. I now relinquish my need to control everything, releasing myself and others to greater creativity and freedom. I watch my thoughts and feelings and give thanks always for spiritual love and support. And that is MS. That is Margaret Stortz. And I said it's ironic that it's Sunday. Because Sunday is our traditional day of rest. It is... Oh, you okay? You gonna sneeze? You alright? Okay. I don't know what was going on with him. Okay, but he's better now, so he's okay. Something got his attention. Okay, so let's go back to Sunday. It's ironic that we do this on a Sunday. Now, because this is a 365, you could read that particular passage on any day of the week. But traditionally, in Western culture and Christian culture, Sunday is supposed to be a day of rest. It is a day to contemplate the Lord. It is a day to be with the Lord. But it doesn't have to be Sunday. And ideally, we could, I'm not going to say should, could do it every day. And that was one of the things that I noticed that when I was, especially when I was running, and that's one of the things that I miss about running, is I would have my music in, but in that period, because my body was busy, my mind was at rest. And so I would, that was a contemplation time for me. When I teach practical mysticism, which I love and dislike that class, because it's a wonderful class. And one of the things that you do in that class is you learn a lot of different meditation techniques. Okay. And what I dislike about it is the book, one of the books. It's like, go back, there's better source material than that book. Okay. But point being, we bring in and learn a bunch of different meditation practices, because not all of us can sit cross-legged on a lotus pillow and stare at the wall for an hour. I'm not that person. I'm always much better at walking meditation, moving meditations. I would have been fabulous at labyrinths because I've done a couple of labyrinths and because they're moving. I'm one of those people that if you want my mind to be quiet, you have to give my body something to do. And I know this about myself. So I'm not going to sit cross-legged and, stare at the wall for an hour. That's just not who I am. So if that's not who you are, the good news is there's bunches of other ways to do this. If you need to give your busy body something to do so that your mind can rest, or if you need to give your mind something to do, because that's the other thing about meditation practices. They will give your mind something to do, i.e. focusing on your breathing. When I was running, that's what I had to do, is focus on my breathing, because I didn't breathe well. It took a while to learn that. It's kind of ironic that you have to learn to breathe to run. And so I was focused on my breath. So my mind and my body had something to do. My monkey mind had something to do, which allowed my spirit to rest. Reading sacred literature, listening to, and that's one of the reasons why Sunday is traditionally a day of rest. Because you go to church and you sit in your church and you sing songs and you listen to the message and then you go think about the message. But it doesn't have to just be Sunday. I'm a big advocate of making sure that you make that kind of practice time every day. Which is one of the reasons why when I switched my body rest day from Sunday to Friday, I don't know what to do with myself. And it's kind of weird. It's weird on my Sundays to get up and, go and do something with my body and then have the rest of the day set aside for the Lord, which, yeah. I can do that. But then Friday mornings I get up and I'm like, I should be doing something. What am I supposed to be doing? So what I'm saying is, whatever it is that you do, your spiritual practice, your time with God, your time with Spirit, make time to do it every day, and don't think that you can't do it when you are doing other things. Okay. One of the things that I learned during one of the hurricanes is that washing dishes by hand is a very meditative process. And it doesn't have to, because she said in there, it doesn't have to be a lengthy prayer. They can be short and sweet. So how long does it take you to wash however many dishes? You can use that time. If you want to go for, I like to go for hour-long bike rides, I can use that time. If you want to go for, a hike or whatever, use that time. And when I say use that time, it doesn't mean you have to be praying, and it doesn't mean you have to be thinking about the Lord. One of the things that you can do, because she said it in there, is focusing on the beauty and perfection of God. Well, if you are on a hike and out in nature, tell me you are not focusing on the beauty of God. Okay? And if you're not, then why are you hiking? Isn't that the purpose? Is to focus on the beauty of around you. Yeah, I know it's about the exercise too, but still, we go hiking in these beautiful places. Well, that's a perfect time to go and focus on the beauty of God. So, there's lots of ways to do it, and I'm a big advocate for it. But I'm also a big advocate for finding ways to do it with the things that you have to do anyway, i.e. washing dishes, or putting dishes away, or, you can get real meditative with sweeping the floor, or mopping the floor, or vacuuming, whatever it is that you're doing. I don't know about dusting. I don't know if I can do it, dusting, but hey, if you can. There are all of these ways that we can bring this time out for spiritual renewal into our lives, into our daily lives, and not have it be an added burden. Because sometimes that's what they'll get it's just one more thing to check off the list. And you don't want it to be that. You don't want it to be an obligation. You want it to be, and dare I say, a pleasure. Something that you look forward to. So feel free to add it to things that you are already doing, especially things that don't require intense focus and concentration. Typing up a paper for work or school is not the time to be doing spiritual practice. But washing dishes? Why not? There are too many times that we're doing other things that we turn on the TV for background noise that we could use that time, if we choose to contemplate the Lord. All right, let me grab my glasses really quick. I haven't worn them a whole lot today. It's been weird. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so she says we need to keep our focus on our divine nature, avoiding any tendency to worry, fear, or other forms of negativity that dominate our thinking. For our outer experience will tend to reflect how we dwell on our thought. So that's one of the reasons why I advocate going ahead and using those times when you are doing mundane chores to add that into your spiritual practice. You can do them mindlessly. You can do them in fear. Why not do them in love? Why not do them in love? And she said it, communing with spirit need not always involve lengthy prayer or meditation. Simple, peaceful talks with God will remind us that the power greater than we are is always at hand. She says, she uses the word tune into our own untiring spirit, but because I'm Gen X and grew up with electricity and, all the electronic devices, I'm a big believer in plugging in. We're always plugged in. We're always plugged in, but it's that conscious act of plugging into that untiring spirit. And when you learn to do that, especially in those little mundane tasks that you do all the time anyway, if you start to sweep the floor, because it's something that you do on a regular basis, and you turn that into a spiritual practice in a time to talk to God, you won't be so tired at the end of the sweeping of the floor. Try it. Okay. So that, I would suggest that's the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is exactly that. Is to look for those little mundane tasks that we do regularly and see if we can't add that component of a spiritual practice to it. It's something that you do all the time. You're well practiced. It's easy for you. And then you just add in that little bit. And then that way, adding in the spiritual practice is not another obligation. You're simply combining it with something that you're doing anyway. And hopefully that will make it easier for you to add more of the spiritual practices into your life. All right. That's the mission. Look for that little mundane task that you do on a regular basis. I mean, brushing your teeth. We do that twice a day anyway. Why not? Okay. So, it's just a suggestion. Try it and see if you like it. And if it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. All right. So that's your mission. The second one is the same one that I always recommend: the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. That is about self-care. That is about making sure that you're finding the joy in the world, because it is about, making sure that you are taking time out for spiritual renewal. It is about making sure that you are doing one of the things that God wants us to do, which is to enjoy life. So it can be as simple as taking a walk, taking a nap, resting. But it's also about, if you have a really fabulous dessert, we had a Creamy Creations. It was a couple of scoops of ice cream, but then the chocolate sauce had a little kick to it. It's a spicy Mexican chocolate sauce, and then there was a caramel, and so all of those flavors just combined. Just, you wanted to savor that, and so that's what I'm talking about. Making time to do that every day, to create a life that you enjoy and a life that is full of kindness, of love, of compassion for yourself. There's no better person to practice on than yourself, because frequently we need it ourselves more than other people around us. And when we can do it for ourselves, then it's easy to do it for anybody around us. People that you love, it's easy to be loving, kind, and compassionate. It's not always easy to practice that on yourself, which is why I suggest it. All right. It'll also help to create that habit, that default setting, that first response. And it will create a bank, so that on days when you need a little extra, or you meet people that do need a little extra, you have plenty to share. So, all right. And you can always plug into that untiring spirit, for everything that you need. So, all right. So here's where I'm going to remind you to do something to engage your mind and your body, to drink plenty of water. We might actually, it looks like it's going to be in the mid 70s for the week for the lows. It still might get into the low 90s, but hey, but still, hydration is important. Drink plenty of water. Get that early in your day bright light. That will reset your circadian rhythms, and it'll help you have more energy during the day and sleep better at night. It's science. You can look it up. And then, as always, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around you all the time. And it is a matter of us being willing to plug in and see it. Okay? So take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. Okay? And remember that happiness is an inside-out job. You can create heaven where you are because it comes from within out. Always. So you go within to that spirit, you bring heaven out, you can create it. It is a superpower. So try it. You might like it. Okay. I'm also going to remind you, we're on all the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias. We are on. I am the Running Rev Ryan on the ones that I am on. So there's all kinds of great content. We've upped our TikTok game recently, so check us out there. That's the Creative Life Spark, as well as the Instagram. And if you want to know what's going on at the center, then email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact, and those hot links are hot. They'll take you where you want to know for everything that we're doing, including the hot links that will take you to the classes that Jessie is teaching through home office. And those are cool because you get to meet people around the world. So not just, in the country, but around the world. All right. That is what I know. Take care of yourself and have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, keeping yourself dry day because the storms are still what they are. A drinking plenty of water a day, a taking time out for spiritual renewal day, a sun day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented always. It is a state of grace. It is granted. We can't earn it, and it can't be taken away. All right? So, know who you are and be that. But take time out for the spiritual renewal. Super important. And you can find all kinds of amazing ways to squeeze it into your day that you hadn't thought about when you're doing those little mundane tasks. I'm serious about this. Okay? It works. That's how I can get as many spiritual practices in my day as I do. Not because I'm a minister, but because I have found creative ways to squeeze them, to combine them with things that I gotta do anyway. All right. Yeah. I need to stop talking because I need breakfast so that I can get on to church for the service. So, Reverend David we are going to have an amazing service right here on Facebook Live for you at the 11 a.m. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you. I'm going to say around 9 a.m. because it's Labor Day and I have the day off. So I'm turning my alarm off and not and then I'll get up and deal with the day as I do. I do have some stuff that I get to do that I'm excited about. So, take care of yourself, know that you're loved, and I will see you next time.